My name is Cole Keaton. I make my living buying things people don't understand and selling them to people who do. Antiques. Estate pieces. Forgotten collections pulled out of basements after someone dies. I don't restore anything, and I don't get sentimental. I identify value, verify authenticity, and move the item along. If it can sit behind glass or disappear into a private vault, chances are I've handled something like it. I bent rules to get where I am. Nothing dramatic. No scandals. But I've skimmed when I knew no one would notice. I've flipped items with paperwork I didn't ask too many questions about. I've let grief work in my favor more than once. If someone called that unethical, I wouldn't argue. I'd just say that's the business. After enough years like that, your instincts dull. If a deal looks strange but paid well, I trained myself to focus on the numbers, not the shape of it. Missing details didn't bother me. Silence didn't bother me. People who wanted discretion usually didn't. So when the offer came through, short notice, one night only, NDA, flight included, it didn't feel unusual. If anything, it sounded efficient. Most people would have seen warning signs. I saw clean logistics. The money was wired before I asked a follow-up question. I accepted. The plane wasn't commercial. It was a cargo aircraft. Wide, hollow, ribbed metal walls, tie-down rails bolted into the floor. No windows. No attendants. Just a single fold-down seat mounted near the center. The rest of the plane was packed with Christmas trees. Not crates. Not pallets. Trees. Dozens of them, packed so tightly their branches were crushed under cargo netting. Every single one fully decorated, ornaments, tinsel, lights. And Christmas music played the entire time. Loud. Cheerful. Brass sections. Choirs. Bells stacked on bells. Speakers were mounted somewhere in the cargo bay and cranked high enough that the sound bounced off the walls. I hated it. I hate Christmas. People hear that and assume it's a personality thing, or that I'm trying to be edgy. I'm not. I just learned early that Christmas isn't what people pretend it is. It's a performance. And if you miss your cue, you're the one who pays. When I was a kid, my mom was an alcoholic. Not the movie kind. No hidden bottles. No interventions. She held a job. Paid the bills. Functioned just well enough that no one stepped in. Which meant it was just the two of us, year after year. Every December, she asked what I wanted for Christmas. She always sounded sincere. I believed her at first. I'd ask for something small, a toy, a game, a book. Something simple. Every year she forgot. Not just the gift. The conversation. Christmas morning would come. I'd wake up early, sit by the tree, and wait. Hours passed. Noon came and went. By the time she stumbled home, it was dark. She'd act surprised it was Christmas at all. Sometimes there were no presents. Sometimes there was something random, a sweater that didn't fit, a DVD I already owned. One year she handed me a gas station candy bar and said we'd do something special later. We never did. By 8, I stopped expecting anything. That was the year she came home so drunk she passed out on the couch, the TV blaring carols. I shut it off. Pulled a blanket over her. Cleaned vomit off the armrest with paper towels because it was already drying. That's not something an 8-year-old should know how to do. So when that music blasted through the cargo plane, song after song insisting everyone should be happy, I didn't feel nostalgic. I felt trapped. Wedged between decorated trees, freezing, listening to joy treated like an obligation. I stared at the ornaments inches from my face and reminded myself of the only rule that ever mattered. Don't expect anything. The music kept playing until the wheels hit the ice. The plane didn't land, it slammed down. No warning. No gradual descent. 1 second steady engines and forced cheer, the next the cargo bay dropped hard enough to throw me from the seat. I hadn't buckled in. My shoulder hit first, then my ribs. I went sideways into the trees. Branches snapped. Ornaments shattered. Needles scraped my face. Something sharp cut my cheek. I bounced off trunks, air punched out of my lungs. The music kept playing. I tried to brace myself and slammed into another tree. Sap smeared my jacket. Blood ran warm down my face. Glass popped across the floor. The trees slowed me down. That's the only reason I didn't break something, but it still hurt like hell. Every impact rattled my teeth and set fresh pain through my back. The engine screamed. The cargo bay lurched sideways and threw me again. A heavy branch caught me across the chest. I tasted blood and bark. I yelled, but the music swallowed it whole. Then the Christmas music stopped. No fade. No warning. Just silence. At the same moment, the plane jolted again. Without the music, the sound was violent. I was thrown once more into the trees. Then nothing. No engines. No movement. I lay there gasping, staring up at branches swaying slowly overhead. Broken ornaments dangled from bent hooks. My hands shook as I pushed myself upright. Everything hurt, but nothing felt broken. The rear ramp groaned as it lowered. Snow came down hard, sideways in the wind, a full whiteout that swallowed the plane the moment I stepped onto the ice. Visibility dropped to a few yards. Just blowing white and the dark outline of a warehouse ahead. The cold hit immediately. I staggered forward as the ramp slammed onto solid ice. Flat. Endless. No runway lights. No markings. No vehicles waiting. The cargo plane didn't wait. Behind me, the ramp lifted and sealed shut. Engines roared back to life. Seconds later, the plane was gone, vanishing into low cloud like it had never existed. The wind cut through my jacket as I stood there longer than I meant to. That's when the color hit me. The warehouse was bright red. Not faded. Not weathered. Not chipped. It was the kind of red that looks wet even when it isn't. Christmas red. Wrapping paper red. Bow red. A color meant to be seen from far away. It didn't belong here, surrounded by ice and sky. It looked dropped into place. As I got closer, the shape became impossible to ignore. It wasn't just a warehouse. It was a present. Perfectly rectangular. Sharp edges. A massive ribbon wrapped around it, dark metal bands bolted into the walls. Where a bow should have been, the roof twisted into exaggerated metal loops, sculpted like steel ribbon. No snow clung to it. No ice. The surface looked polished. Maintained. There were no tracks. No road. Nothing explaining how anyone reached it. It just sat there like it always had. A door seam was worked into the ribbon pattern, no handle, no lock. I raised my hand. Before I touched it, something clicked inside. The door unlocked. Slid open just enough. Then closed behind me with a heavy final thud. Cold followed me in. Inside was a vast concrete space, ceiling lost to shadow. Long rows of numbered crates stretched ahead. Candles burned throughout, evenly spaced, flames steady. The walls were covered in paper. Flyers. Warnings. They weren't the same. Some were new and clean. Others yellowed and curling, taped up decades ago. Some had been copied so many times the ink blurred. I read 3. The Candy Cane Massacre, 1976. Do not allow striped tools or decorations into workshop B. Krampus is attracted to sugar and dye. 8 elves lost. No remains recovered. Below it, handwritten in red, if it looks festive, it isn't worth it. The second was older. Typed. The Silent Night Incident, 1989. Music after curfew caused a breach. Krampus mimicked carols to draw staff out. 11 elves lost before containment restored. The word mimicked was underlined 3 times. The third was newer. The North Wing breach, 4 days before Christmas. 9 elves lost. Cause, rule deviation. Krampus ate them. Every flyer followed the same pattern. Event. Year. Rule broken. Body count. No apologies. No memorials. Just mistakes recorded. Near the entrance was a folding table. A clipboard weighted by a stone. 1 sheet of paper. My name printed neatly at the top. Welcome, Cole Keaton. Member of the naughty list, here are your rules to survive the North Pole. I lifted the page. Hi! I turned. She stood nearby, leaning against a crate like she'd always been there. Normal height. Blonde hair tucked under a drooping red elf hat. She was smoking. New here? Yeah. She nodded, then held the cigarette out. Want one? Sure. The cigarette tasted like licorice. You here alone? Looks like it. She laughed softly. They like doing that. You work here? Used to. Sort of. Sort of? Got kicked out. She explained smoking was a fire risk. Too many presents. Too flammable. She crushed the cigarette out. You should read those, she said, nodding at the paper. All of them, she added, serious now. My name's Holly. When she adjusted her hat, I saw it, a pointed ear. She didn't hide it. I've got wrapping to do, she said. Before leaving, she warned me. Don't get clever. Don't wander. Follow the rules exactly. I read them. Rules for North Pole Night Operations. Subject, Cole Keaton. Status, naughty list. Active. Read them once. Read them right. Keep candles burning. Darkness feeds what hunts. If animal stink fills the air, stay in the glow. If someone cries outside, do not answer. Krampus wears a Santa face. Choose wrong, nothing more. If you see eyes low, wide, and bright, do not move. Don't be naughty. Greed hesitates. I read them 3 times. Then every candle went out at once. The light didn't fade. It collapsed. Darkness slammed in. Something boomed beneath the floor. Another. Closer. I couldn't see. Then I saw it, a faint glow. Holly's lighter. I grabbed it. Struck flame. Lit candles fast. Each one pushed the dark back. Something massive pressed up beneath the floor. The last candle lit. Light snapped back. The pressure vanished. It was gone. I kept the candle with me as I walked deeper. The workshop turned into rooms. Gifts. Toys. Magic. Empty. Then I heard clicking. A boy sat on the floor, playing with a toy car. 7 or 8. Calm. Waiting. His name was Max. He wore a hospital band. He was waiting for his dad. For a train set. I understood what he was. Ghosts don't get train sets. I left him. Later, I smelled animal. Rule 2. I stayed still. Eyes appeared. Low. Wide. Bright. The Yo-Cat. It watched. Then withdrew. I believed the rules. Then I heard a child crying outside. I saw hooves. Not hands. Krampus smiled at me through the glass. I moved on. I entered the Santa room. Dozens of them. One real. I chose right. The rest vanished. At the loading bay, a man was stealing gifts. Greedy. Laughing. He handed me a train set. It was Max's. When the plane returned, I didn't board. Krampus swallowed it whole. I brought the train back to Max, set it beside his bed. Later, Santa came. Crossed my name off the list. When I got home, my apartment held a tree. Gifts. All the things I never got. For the first time in my life. I liked Christmas.